First Amendment to the United States Constitution. Their partnership for USA should not be construed as an endorsement of them or their views.
Hi, welcome to the Kennedy Space Center. I'm going to show you around a few places here. Behind me is actually some of the missiles used in the build-up of the race to get to the moon. Some of these never actually flew because they were kept as spares.
When I was a child, I was fascinated by space travel. I used to love watching all the moon missions. It was always my ambition to watch the launch of a space vehicle. However, it was much harder than I thought.
Right behind me here is the shape of things to come in the future. You know, the other day there, Tuesday night, I was on my way to Cape Canaveral to see the launch, and unfortunately it was cancelled at the last minute. Well, that's how things go. Last time I was here last year, the same thing happened. We were due for a launch, it was cancelled at the last minute. I think now it's going to be November before the next launch. There's 2 shuttles waiting on the pad, and I'm going to show you these later on.
This is the following year, 1991, Cocoa Beach.
Just after 9 o'clock in the morning and I've missed yet another launch. This time it was a Titan missile. It's been cancelled twice already and it might go up again tomorrow morning. This time I'm going to get it. Incidentally, there was also supposed to have been a shuttle, but that would have been just too good to be true. Every year I seem to miss it.
Begins with the Saturn V liftoff from Pad A at the Kennedy Space Center Complex 39.
1993. The crowds have gathered at Titusville to witness a shuttle launch. However, that was cancelled due to the weather. The Florida coast experiences about 80 to 90 thunderstorms per year, so this launch was postponed until the following week, but unfortunately I went on a last-minute trip to the Bahamas and missed the launch. October 1997, and at last I witnessed my first launch. It was a Titan missile carrying the Cassini orbiter, a 7-year journey to Saturn to study its moons. This was filmed from Port Canaveral at 4:45 in the morning. (1999) STS-96 Space Shuttle Discovery. It's looking good and all systems go for launch.
Jade, move along now, will it? Please?
Start it. 4, 3. Here come the boosters. 1. And liftoff of Space Shuttle Discovery, the first mission to dock with the orbiting International Space Station. Rolling around on course. Streaking up to the northeast, Discovery climbing quickly, trailing that long column of smoke from the solid rockets.
Complete. Discovery now in a
Flashing away into a bright blue sky that'll quickly turn to black space for the 7 astronauts aboard. Just listen to her go. Down now.
Probably down to 67% of rated thrust as the orbiter passes through the area of maximum aerodynamic pressure.
Voice you hear is Ed Campion in Houston Mission Control now. Slowing down through the thickest part of the atmosphere, striking the spacecraft.
Back up at 104%.
Here they go, back up to full power.
Roger, Houston, go ahead, throttle.
Still climbing nicely.
3 liquid fuel engines now back at full throttle, 104% of rated thrust. Altitude now 8.5 miles, downrange 6 miles.
Still clearly visible to us from here at the Kennedy Space Center. The space station out ahead of them, near Bermuda at this point. They'll start a chase that'll catch up with the space station sometime on Saturday at a docking at that time.
130 seconds into the flight with more than 2.25 million pounds of propellant having already been used, Discovery now weighs half of what it did at liftoff.
You can see by the color.
Major event, which will be the burnout and separation of the two solid rocket boosters occurring a little more than 2 minutes into flight.
You can see the color changing in the flame from the solid boosters. That means they're burning out their fuel, getting ready to drop off. That should happen in about 10 seconds from now. It's a critical point in the flight. It's always good to see them off. But those big boomers are what gets this thing underway. Okay, the color's changing nicely. And there they go. They're clear of the tank, falling away from the shuttle. Safely away, Bettina.
Booster officer confirmed.
Live coverage of the launch of Discovery on News Talk AM 580 WDVO. We'll update our top local stories in depth at 7. It's 6:52.
What do you think of that?
22,988. And there's much more. You can choose from the largest
to the screen occasionally to show you more details about spacecraft and missions and to take you inside the house.
Following that amazing launch, we revisit the Kennedy Space Center.
The Crawler Transporter is the biggest tracked vehicle in the world.
Visited the building where the Leonardo section of the space station was being built. So every time the space station passes overhead, I remember that special day.
We have booster ignition and liftoff with the Space Shuttle Atlantis opening the door to a presence in space.
There was another opportunity to see a launch the following year, but it was cloudy, so we just did what locals do and watched it from the backyard. Well, the kids weren't very enthusiastic. However, the dog next door, that was full of enthusiasm.
See it? Look, Ryan, look at the rocket. Look at the shuttle going up.
And that concludes my Toti Wee film about chasing rockets.